She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
For the last 2 decades, I have had a passion for helping people to succeed financially. Actually, almost 3 decades. Hi, I'm Dani Johnson. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show, the place where you come to learn how to change your finances, your business or your career, as well as improve the relationships that you have with your family. This show is a show that is designed and getting results in the area of helping people just like you pay off all of their debt in just 5 to 7 years, getting bonuses and promotions, getting jobs that they're not even qualified for, prospering in each area of their life after living a life full of messes and turmoil and even torment. So today I'm excited to talk to you about money. You know, pretty much one day out of every week, we talk about money. And we're going to be talking about money in terms of where it seems to run away to. Ayn Rand, a famous writer, incredible, thoughtful woman. Here's a quote from her that kind of stunned me last night when I read it. Money is a tool. It will take you wherever you wish, but it will not replace you as the driver. Think about that. Think about in terms of money being a car. A car is a tool. It's a tool that can help you get to work. It's a tool that can help you go to the grocery store, run errands, take the kids to school, whatever it is that you use this tool for. But to start a business, right, or to take care of the poor, whatever it is that you have a desire to do with money, or to do with a car, okay? So if money is like a car, the car still needs a driver, and that driver is you. And so money is a powerful tool. It does not replace you as the driver. You're the one that has to direct money. And if you do not direct where money is to go, the money will be directed by others. And the place that I have seen more than any other place in people's budgets, as I've been analyzing people's budgets for the last 12 years, helping people pay off their debt, even myself, back in 1999 is when I first got the conviction of where our money was going and how most of it was going to the grocery store. I mean, most of my foolish spending was at the grocery store. $1,200 a month is what I was spending on groceries that did not include eating out. So just on groceries was $1,200, $500 of which was at Costco. As soon as I stopped going to Costco, I saved $500 a month. So right there, that took me to $700 a month. And wait a second. We only had a couple of kids at that point. Yeah, we had just given birth to our baby number 4. So we had littles. We didn't have big teenagers yet. And my husband and I were not big people. We were people who ate pretty sensibly, but our grocery bill would not tell you that. Our grocery bill would tell you that we ate very foolishly, and our grocery bill would tell you that we had a house full of food, and yet we were still at the grocery store 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week. So I had to make a drastic change. Our finances started to get into trouble. And I realized that I was not being faithful with the little things. Therefore, I would never rule over much, much more if I wasn't being trusted with the amount that I had already been given. So today we're going to analyze some finances. We feed our family on $100 or less a week. And I've done that. I fed my family back when the kids were littles, right? I took a massive change. And I said, no more. And I'm not going to the grocery store until all the food in this house is gone. So I ran out of milk, obviously, within a few days. But I didn't buy any more milk. The kids ate dry cereal. We had stale potato chips. We ate them. We used everything that was in that freezer, frostbitten and all. I still cooked it. I was missing some ingredients to making a certain, recipe. I just said, forget it. I'm not going to the store until everything is gone. And I just created a new recipe instead. If something called for milk, I didn't use the milk. I just used butter. I used whatever I had, and I created a bunch of recipes that were cheap. And in fact, I have this philosophy now. Improvise in imperfection. Come on, think about it. You decide that you're going to make something for dinner, right? and you're missing 2 ingredients. What's the natural knee-jerk reaction that you do? Most people get in the car, go to the store, and they get the missing 2 ingredients and drive all the way home. But that's not all they get, right? You didn't just get those 2 missing ingredients because you were hungry. Remember, you're going to be cooking dinner. So, you get a box of them little pies and, another bag of potato chips, and don't forget the soda or the vitamin water. Yeah, because vitamin water is that color. Bright orange. Or bright pink or red or green. Yeah, vitamin water definitely is that color. Such a bunch of hooey. So yeah, we didn't just buy the missing 2 ingredients, we bought a bunch of other things too that we absolutely didn't need. How many times have you gone to the store without a list and you come home with more soap, found out you didn't need it? In fact, you had a closet full of Dial, bunch of bars of soap that were sitting in the closet, or a bunch of shower gels. We just are aimlessly filling the pockets of the owners of the grocery stores, making them filthy, stinking rich, while our dreams are on hold and our kids' college tuition is not happening. The future wedding we're going to have to pay for, we're just probably going to take out a loan. Isn't that sad? That's how Hans and I were living. And I'm happy to say that I had a big brick fall on my head about 15 years ago and 16 years ago, and wow, I refused to live any way different. Today, I was a homeless woman 24 years ago. Now I'm a multimillionaire and financially independent, and I still live frugal. I still cook 6 nights a week. My husband and I go on a date once a week. We still refuse to spend money on foolish things. We still keep things very, very tight. And why? Well, we would have never accumulated the wealth that we accumulated had we been foolish again with money. After 10 years of being foolish, the last 15, we're done. We do not want to be foolish with money any longer. And the amount of wealth that was accumulated was astronomical in compared to the amount of money that we made and lost and spent. So today I want to help you. I want to help you make some wise choices financially. We're going to analyze your budget, and we're going to see ways that you can save money. Get ready. You're about to have your bank account grow. You want your bank account to grow? Listen to today's show. You might want to get a pen and paper handy also. So we've got Missy Ann on the line from Connecticut. Missy, how much are you spending on groceries per week?
Approximately $250 a week.
How many people are in the household?
I have a family of 5.
You have a family of 5 and you're spending $250 a week?
Yes.
What in the world are you
Sometimes
buying?
Sometimes it goes up.
Say what?
Sometimes it goes up.
Really? So like
Yeah.
$250 is like the baseline?
$250 is probably about my baseline that I spend every week at the grocery store.
Wow. So then on the week where it goes up, what does that look like?
It could be anywhere from $300 to $350.
Oh, whoa. So $250 to $350. Okay. Now, that's just at the grocery store, right?
Yes.
And then how much are you spending eating out, or your husband spending eating out?
We don't eat out.
So your husband doesn't go out to lunch?
No.
So
Nope.
he packs a lunch every day?
He takes his lunch every day to work.
Okay, that is awesome, and I'm impressed, and I'm actually shocked that he takes his lunch to work every day based on how big your bill is. How old are the people in the household? I mean, you don't have to tell me your and your husband's age, but how old are the kids?
I have a 22-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a 13-year-old.
Wait a second. And is the 22-year-old contributing to the household?
When he can.
What do you mean, when he can? He's 22.
He has medical bills that he is paying off.
And why can't he contribute to the household?
He should be. He really should be.
And when is that going to start?
I'm not sure.
And when are you going to have a conversation with your 22-year-old that you are enabling?
Oh, I've had plenty of conversations with him.
Oh. So when is he moving out?
Actually, he's moving out in October.
Perfect. Good job. He needs to move out. If he's had multiple conversations, the consequences are you're out on your own. Go figure it out. And then, are you paying a cell phone bill? Please don't tell me yes.
I am paying a cell. No, his? Oh, goodness, no.
Okay,
no.
Good job. I was about to reach through the camera here and grab you.
No, he pays his own cell phone bill.
Okay, well, I'm proud of you for that. He probably shouldn't have a cell phone if he's not paying for his own food.
Well, that's true, but he needs his cell phone for work. So as long as he's paying for that, I'm not picking up the bill for that one.
Yeah, but you are picking up the bill for the food.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you are paying for the cell phone.
I guess, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. The money that he should be giving you for food is going to the cell phone instead. So, anyway, he's moving out. I'm happy to hear that. Okay, so, Missy, I spend $100 or less per week. And I did that when I had 4 little kids at home, even in diapers. And I had spent the same budget when they became men and teenagers. Like, my baby is 6 foot tall now, and he's 16 years old. I had 3 sons and 2 daughters. I had a daughter that ate more than her father and more than me when she was 4 years old. So you have to ask yourself, what in the world am I blowing money on at the grocery store? That if the millionaire spends $100 or less per week to feed her family, and if you never go out, I only go out once a week, 6 nights a week I'm cooking. So I have breakfast, lunch, and dinner in my house for less than $100 a week. And please don't say it's because of where I live. I've budgeted in London, Australia, Canada, and the U.S. because I travel. And by the way, when I travel and I go on vacation, I go and I buy groceries and I cook while I'm on vacation. Because I don't want to eat out while I'm on vacation. So I've done it in all kinds of countries, all over Europe. I've managed to keep my budget at $100 for feeding my family for a week. Obviously, I have to adjust the food that I'm buying when I'm in a different country. But I refuse to spend more than $100 in a week. So let's think about this when we go on this break. I want you to think about, and actually, if you're at home, go look at how much food is in your pantry, your fridge, and your freezer. And if you have an outside freezer, I want you to look at how much food is there, okay? And then when we come back from the break, I want you to talk to me about it, okay?
Okay.
All right, this is Dani Johnson. Maybe you should go do the same thing. Go take a look. How much food is in the house? And then let's talk about price. We'll continue after this.
When we come back, Dani is going to help Missy find ways to cut back her grocery bill. You might be shocked at what she suggests, but it will help change your grocery budget immediately.
Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org. Friend, you know me. You know how passionate I am about my faith and the land of Israel. I'm so excited to tell you about something directly from the Holy Land. A good friend in Israel has teamed up with a good friend here in the U.S. to bring an incredible product that harnesses the healing power of the Dead Sea. Have you heard about Mud Zero? Face it, we may not like to talk about it, but some of us need help with removing unwanted hair, especially in unwanted places. Mud Zero is a solution for all skin types for men and women. Rub the mask on your skin, let it sit for 5 minutes, wipe it off, and you have smooth skin without the irritation. Then follow it up with a Depi lotion daily to reduce hair growth by up to 50%. Best of all, you can feel good knowing that over 10% of the profits goes directly to King's Ransom to feed the orphan and the widow. Go right now to mudzero.com and take advantage of an introductory offer they've created just for us. mudzero.com.
It's time for a checkup from the neck up. It's the Dani Johnson Show.
Dani, I do the best I can at the grocery store. But food is just expensive. Oh no, there is expensive food at the grocery store. I just refuse to buy it. So we're talking to Missy Ann from Connecticut. She's got a family of 5. She's spending anywhere from $250 to $350 per week. I spend $100 or less. $100 is my max. I spend $100 or less on my food budget for feeding my family. I have a huge family and I always have a few extras at the dinner table throughout the week. So we're comparing and figuring out where Missy can save money with her food bill. So Missy, when did you go to the grocery store last?
Last week.
Last week. So has it been
end of last week?
Okay, so it's been 4 days?
4 or 5 days, yeah.
Okay, so it's been 5 days. How much food do you have in your pantry?
The pantry, I actually have quite a bit of food in there.
You do? What about the fridge and the freezer?
The fridge is a little barren right now.
Okay.
The freezer does have, it's I would say about half full.
When do you typically go back to the store again?
Typically, I would probably make another trip tomorrow.
Even though the house is packed with food?
I would actually go back and get more dairy products.
Why?
We go through a lot of milk.
Oh, why do you go through a lot of milk?
My kids are milk drinkers. My husband and I are milk drinkers.
Oh, well, have you ever heard that you could lose a lot of weight by not drinking milk?
I know.
Do you think that it might make sense to cut back on a little milk since your food budget is astronomical?
We actually have cut back.
Oh my gosh.
It's so embarrassing to say, but we actually have cut back. And because milk is extremely expensive, I've even considered buying a cow so I could milk the cow in my backyard.
Well, milk is not only expensive, but it's really bad for your body. Did you not know that milk does a body good was just a marketing campaign?
No.
Yeah. Do some research on how bad milk is for your body. Do you drink organic milk?
No.
Are you serious? So you're not even drinking good milk, like if there was milk that is good. So wait a second, so you're drinking milk with all the hormones, all the chemicals, all the antibiotics?
Yeah.
So you're like drinking poison into your body from corporate farmed cows. Wow. Girl, eat a donut. It tastes better. I'm not kidding you. That milk is hurting your body. Do the research, Missy Ann, and present the research to your family. There are so many studies and proof out there of how bad especially non-organic milk is. In fact, raw milk is about the only milk that is even somewhat acceptable or even has any nutrition in it. But milk itself does not do a body good. Milk itself hurts the body, adds weight to the body, does not have good nutrition in it. There's more calcium in green vegetables than there is in the milk. No joke.
I also have, my youngest is also autistic.
And
he has oral sensory disorder.
And so, what does that have to do with the milk?
Well, because of the fact that he is so extremely picky about what textures go into his mouth.
Oh my gosh, Mommy.
So
Mommy.
His doctors have even told us, because he needed to gain the weight, to just let him continue to drink as much milk as he could get.
There's other ways to gain weight. There's other ways to get. By the way, doctors take one short class in nutrition in their 10 years of schooling. Just one.
Wow.
One. One little teeny tiny class on nutrition. The worst people in the world to take nutritional advice from is doctors. The worst. They don't have a clue on nutrition. So it's time to look for other things that your son can eat, because milk probably is making the autism worse. It's possible that it's actually worsening his health and worsening his sensories. Think about it. The cows are being jacked up with chemicals to make them grow faster. They're being jacked up with chemicals to make them produce more milk than what they're naturally supposed to be. They're being jacked up with chemicals because of all the sewage that they put their feet in and their bodies in every day because of corporate farming. Ugh! This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more after this.
In your face and in your corner. You've never had a coach like this before. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success.
When your life goes off the rails, Dani Johnson is there to help you get back on track. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Ooh, man, there's not a lot of things that get my goat, but my goat was just gotten. Okay. Hi, yes, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. We're talking about feeding your family on $100 a week. I've met so many families that have been guided by doctors who have like just a few hours of a class called nutrition in their 10 years of schooling, and they're given nutritional advice. They should be hung, feathered, tarred, hung upside down. They have no business talking nutrition because they don't know anything about it. Friend, you have got to learn for yourself and educate, especially you mothers. A mother's job is to make sure the family is nutritionally sound, to make sure that she understands what's in the food, the chemicals, the dyes, the milk that we're putting in our kids' bodies. If you're not buying organic, first of all, milk does not do a body good. That was a marketing campaign from like 30 years ago. And this whole got a mustache, it's nothing but marketing. It's not healthy for the body. It's terrible on the body, especially all these corporate farmed milk. I'm going to blow a gasket. I better bring it back. Rain it back. Feeding your family $100 a week. Come on, if I can do it, anybody can. I have like these big hairy men in my house that are called children, and they're 16 and 17 years old. Okay, I've raised all of my kids on a strict budget, and I cook gourmet food. Okay, so let me tell you some of the places that are super expensive. I got Missy Ann from Connecticut on the phone. Okay, Missy, listen to me. I've watched people say, oh, yes, I want to pay off my debt and I want to reduce my budget on food. And there they are in the dairy section buying cheese that is already grated. Pre-grated cheese cost more money than a block of cheese. And not only that, they put extra chemicals on the cheese to keep it from sticking to each other. Because let me ask you, Missy, have you ever grated cheese before?
I have.
Yeah. And have you ever put the rest of it in a Ziploc bag?
The grated cheese that I've grated?
Yeah, the grated cheese that you grated. Have you ever put it in a Ziploc bag?
No.
Okay, when you put it in a Ziploc bag and you save the rest, or you put it in a bowl and you save the rest, what happens to grated cheese after it's been cooled again in the refrigerator?
It gets gross.
Well, does it stay light and fluffy and on top of each other, or does it turn into one mold, all one piece?
All one piece.
It turns into all one piece. So the grated cheese that we're buying at the store, how come it doesn't happen to that you buy in this big Ziploc bag? How come it's all loose in the bag? Because it's covered in preservatives, extra preservatives, and flour. They actually put it in flour so that it doesn't stick to each other. So now we added some gluten to the cheese. And they added preservatives so it doesn't go bad. Because if you've ever grated your own cheese, you notice that because it hit the air and now it's been reformed in a different way, now it actually goes bad faster. So how come the cheese in the bags don't go bad? Because of the chemicals. to keep it in the right form. And so I watch this all the time. People go, oh no, I'm going to pay off my debt. I'm going to stick to my budget. But they're buying pre-grated cheese. They buy pre-cut apples. They buy pre-cut salads. They buy fried chicken. Okay, so I did a show once and I was talking about my fried chicken. I fed my whole family on fried chicken. I made 18 pieces. I did it for $6. That included the gravy, mashed potatoes, the corn, the broccoli, and the chicken. And people were like, there's no way. Like, whatever. And then this woman said, it costs $10 just for the chicken. I'm like, yeah, if you're buying the chicken that's already pre-seasoned, the chicken that's already been dipped in the flour, that all you have to do is put in your oven. It's already been pre-fried. You have to put in your oven. Yeah, you're going to spend $15 on that. But if you buy chicken and you have a little bit of flour and a little bit of salt, pepper, and garlic powder in a little bag, you shake it up and you fry it yourself, it's cheap. I made several meals with that chicken all in one night, super cheap. And so we have been conditioned to pay for conveniences. And we don't realize that the conveniences that we're paying for are actually not only more expensive, but they're worse for our bodies. They're not nutritional for the bodies. An apple loses its nutrition when you cut it and you let it sit. Have you ever noticed? Now here's another one. The cut apple that you're buying in a little plastic container that's got either, I don't know, caramel on the side, peanut butter on the side. Have you ever noticed that those apples don't turn brown? But if you were to take an apple slicer and slice your apple and sit it on the counter for 5 minutes, just let it sit there, what happens to the apple? It begins to turn brown. Why does it begin to turn brown? Because the air is oxidizing the apple. So there's oxidation in the apple. The air hits it. Now it's beginning to lose its nutrition. But the apple at the grocery store that's already been pre-sliced in that nice little package, those apples have chemicals on them to keep the color right. So we're actually paying more money for food that has worse nutrition in it. I know that's not grammatically correct, but get over it. It's financially correct. So worse nutrition plus chemicals in it that are harmful to our body, that our body does not know how to process. It builds up toxins in our body and produces cellulite on our body, which is what cellulite is. Cellulite is toxins stored up in our fat cells, and they get swollen. And that's how we end up with these bumps on our butts, on our arms, on our guts, is because of toxins. Toxins from the air we breathe, toxins from the water that we drink, toxins in the food that we buy. And so buy whole. Buy things in its natural form. That's one way to save money on your food bill. Don't buy the lettuce that's already pre-cut. Buy the head of lettuce. Cut it yourself. Okay, and use it all. Okay, buy the apple in its normal form. Do not buy the pre-cut apple. Don't buy the watermelon that's already cut, the pineapple that's already cut, all the fruits and vegetables are already cut. Do not buy those. Buy the stuff, first of all, that's on sale. Second of all, buy only what you need. Don't buy more than you need. You should never be throwing away food, ever. Eat all that you buy, and you will save money. And here's a great way to save money. Shop the perimeter of the grocery store. Don't go on the inside. The inside is more expensive foods, and the inside is what's worse for the body. It's terrible nutrition what's on the inside. It'll make you fat. You start shopping the perimeter of the grocery store, you're going to save money. Okay, when you're in the meat department, stay away for that flash frozen meat. It's terrible. Read the ingredients. If you're buying chicken, the only ingredient that should be in there is chicken. Not a level of a label this big on the chicken in those bags that have the individual chicken breasts that are each individually frozen. That's bad news, friend. Do not touch it. Buy what is whole. Buy what is good. That's another place. I could go on forever. I mean, this is a personal pet peeve, and I'm supposed to be talking to the people on the phone. Tamara McKay from Ontario, Canada. Hi. Sorry.
Hi.
Have I gotten on my little rampage or what?
That's okay. They're fun.
Yeah, fun for you. My blood pressure's going through the roof. I'm kidding, it's not. Okay, so you spend $600 per month on a family of 4. Girlfriend, what are you doing?
What am I what?
What are you doing? You're spending $600 a month on a family of 4?
Yep.
How?
Since we moved, I used to not have as many grown-ups, but
before when we had 4, I used to spend $400, but now that we're out in the middle of nowhere, I spend closer to $600.
Why? What does it have to do with being closer to nowhere?
So much. What was that, sorry?
Why does it depend on being closer to nowhere? Like, why would that increase your food budget $200 more a month?
Because we don't shop the sales as much. And if we have to grab something like the town closest to us, it's really expensive.
Well, then maybe you don't grab anything from the town closer to you. Okay, you want to know how to cut your food budget by $200 a month?
Sure.
Okay, look, $200 a month is how much per year?
$100 a year.
How much?
$2,400.
$2,400 a year. Do you realize that? What could you do with $2,400 extra a year? In 10 years, that's how much? In 10 years?
$24,000.
$24,000 in 10 years. What are the different things you could do with $24,000 extra dollars in 10 years?
Afford to get my kids all the classes they want to do.
Really? Really? Yeah, that's like an expensive car. That's a house in some parts of the United States and in Canada. That's for retirement, college tuition. $24,000? And what would you do? Look back and go, well, I had to go to the corner market and it was more expensive, so I chose not to save $200 extra a month.
Oh, no, it hurts my feelings to go grocery shopping here.
Well, obviously it doesn't hurt your feelings enough. You are throwing away, Tamara, you are throwing away $2,400 a year. That's a lot of stinking money.
We try not to go grocery
shopping. Don't give me this, we try not to. You are.
Well, not often. It's just...
If you're spending $600 a month, you are. You already told me you used to spend $4, now you spend $6 because you moved further out of town, and now you spend more because you have to stop by the little corner store and it's so much more expensive. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Do you know what the most expensive item on your grocery bill is? It's your excuses. Dani will help you get rid of them for good, next on The Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, I'm Dani Johnson. The most common question I get usually are from people who are trying to juggle their life. They've got kids who are involved in all kinds of activities. They've got business or their job, finances, trying to get out of debt, plus all their church activities and all the volunteer activities, and they're pulling their hair out going, how do I juggle this all? Man, I once lived just like that until I learned Time Secrets. Time Secrets showed me how to be able to cut my hours from 100 hours a week that I was working down to 20 hours a week and tripled my income as a direct result with what I learned. Time Secrets also showed me how to get my priorities in order, which healed up my marriage. And I became a mother that I was proud of versus becoming the mother I didn't want to be. And so if you feel like your world is running around in all kinds of different circles, you can fix that. Call 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880 for Time Secrets.
What multimillionaire do you know that volunteers their time to help ordinary people like you and me? There's only one. And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
It's really important that you make wise choices daily and that we don't justify our actions with excuses. Just as we just finished hearing, Tamara, precious woman, family of 4, was spending $400 a week, which is right on target, okay? Should be $20 per person in the household per week. So really her budget should be around $80 per week times 4 weeks. $320 per month is what she should be allowing for the food budget every single week, but is instead spending $600. And what's the excuse? And again, the definition of an excuse is a well-planned lie. She's upped her food budget $2,400 a year. It's $24,000 in 10 years. There's so many more places to put $2,400 or $24,000, isn't there? But we can justify our actions and our excuses. And what's the answer? Meal plan. Meal plan. And refuse to go to the store when you forgot something. Figure out how you can alter the recipe even though you forgot something. That's how I do it in my household. And the bottom line is this, there's a financial law. If you can be trusted with the little things, you'll be made ruler over much, much more. People's dreams of sending their kids to college are being flushed down the toilet at the grocery store because of justifying, my kid needs milk, or hey, it's more expensive there, but it's closer by. No, listen, if you value money, you will not have excuses, and you will meal plan. As I meal plan now, because my family has shrunk, because we have 3 adult kids that have moved on and gotten married. Now I only have two teenage men in my house right now. And so now, my food budget is even less than $100 a week. We're down to like $50 a week for my household. And so now I go to the grocery store every 2 weeks instead of once a week, because it's actually harder for me, by the way, to cook for 4 than it is to cook for 8. I like to cook for 8. I don't like to cook for 4, but I'm getting used to it. And I'm not asking to have to cook for 8 again. But anyway, my point is that the budgeting, okay, and the meal planning, and I have, in fact, it's in the Feed Your Family on $100 a week. Okay, we actually did a training on this. You can find it in our website. You can print out my actual grocery list little helper from that, so that you know how to, and the meal planner. So there's a meal planner there, and there's recipes in there on how to feed your family on $100 a week, and there's a system that's in place to be able to help you save money on your grocery bill. And again, it should be $20 per person per week. That's if you want to live rightly financially. That's if you want your family to be healthy. That's if you want to be able to say, yes, I can send my kid to college. That's if you want to say, yes, I want to take my family on a vacation. That's if you want to say no to financial trouble in the future. It all starts in the home. It all starts at the grocery store. It really, truly does. We've got Letitia Christian from California. Welcome to the show.
Hi. We spend $100 to $120 per week on groceries right now.
How many people?
We are a family of 4.
Family of 4. Well, as you just heard, it should be $80 a week. You're at least closer, right? You're still on the outer edge, but there's still more that you could be cutting out by simple little changes. And so, how many times do you go to the grocery store?
I go once a week, every Saturday.
Good job. Proud of you. Pat yourself on the back. Go ahead, put your hand back there. Pat, I want to hear it. Pat yourself. Okay, good job. You got that one tip underway. So you go once a week. Does your pantry, fridge, and freezer empty out on Friday? Saturday morning, is there nothing in the house?
Other than baking goods, like baking powder, things like that, yes.
Okay, and ketchup and mustard and mayonnaise, things like that, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Proud of you. Okay, second one. Pat yourself on the back. I want to hear it. Good job. Okay, you're a good mom. Okay, so now you make sure and you eat all the food that's in the fridge, pantry, and freezer before you go to the grocery store again. Okay, so that means that you're meal planning each week.
Yes.
Okay, good job. So what in the world are you buying that is costing almost double?
Now, we eat a lot of eggs and a lot of meat, which I was hearing you talk about the meat earlier on the call. But that's like the brunt of our grocery bill.
And does it have to be?
Only because we're following a weight loss meal plan, and that really upped our protein intake. But I'm sure I could probably talk to the trainer and see if he can adjust that.
I'm pretty sure you could wait. And there's a personal trainer?
Yes.
Which is extra expenses, right?
Yes, we pay $25 a month for a meal plan.
$25 a month you're paying for the meal plan, and he has upped your food bill. And the food bill is $20 to $40. It's actually, it's $40 over what it should be per week.
Yeah, we were paying roughly $80 to $100 before this meal plan.
So proud of you. So absolutely proud of you. There are more ways to lose weight other than just consuming a crazy amount of eggs and a crazy amount of steak or meat. There's other cheaper forms of protein out there. Meat is of the most expensive form of protein.
Yes, that's what we found.
Yes. So you would go back to your personal trainer and say, this is unacceptable. We need other forms of protein that do not cost this much. Make him work for his $25 meal plan he's giving you every week.
Okay.
Got it? There's so many.
Yeah,
beans. There's beans. Beans and rice together make a perfect protein. There's so many other ways that you can get the amount of protein that he thinks is necessary, and that can even be argued as well. It really can. Are you losing weight?
Yeah.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
But you don't have to spend $65 more a month to lose that weight. You don't.
I would love to put that towards my debt. We have $1,000 extra a month. Thank you to your WA debt program.
Wow.
Going towards our debt, so that would be $1,065 extra per month.
Absolutely. $1,065 per month going towards your debt is going to get you out of debt really, really fast. Letitia, I'm really, really proud of you. Thanks for being teachable. Thanks for following directions. You're obviously using We're on Debt, which is why you were like shopping once a week, which is why you are eating all the food that's in your pantry before you're going back to the grocery store, that you're meal planning. These 3 steps are what we talk about in Feed Your Family on less than $100 a week, and it's what we talk about in We're on Debt. So it's an honor to talk to you, and I'm really, really, really proud of you. I really am. I'm blessed that you are following those kind of directions. Okay, we got Emily from Oregon. Emily, you say that you went from $1,000 a month down to $400 a month. How did you do that on your food bill?
Hi, Dani. Well, basically, we would buy whenever we wanted to. Like, I would tell my husband on his way home from work, I would say, hey, can you pick this and this up? I don't feel like cooking.
Yep.
Or just random kind of things like that. Or another thing that was really bad, I would shop hungry.
Yeah, that's really bad. So bad.
Yes, really bad. So basically, we just decided that we were going to do a budget of $100 a week, and we weren't going to go over it. And we started shopping together, which is a good thing because
it can be fun too.
Yeah, and I'm more of like an emotional. Oh, get this because I'm attached to it,
Yes.
Or sentimental.
And so he helps to hold you accountable and say, I don't think that we necessarily need that. That's the me in the family between Hans and I. That's the me for sure. But the grocery store can be a very romantic experience. I have found it to be very romantic. Anyway, look at that. If Emily could cut her food bill from $1,000 down to $400, come on, you can do this. You can feed your family on $100 a week. There's no excuse. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more after this.
Stay right here for more of The Dani Johnson Show.
Friend, you know me. You know how passionate I am about my faith and the land of Israel. I'm so excited to tell you about something directly from the Holy Land. A good friend in Israel has teamed up with a good friend here in the U.S. to bring an incredible product that harnesses the healing power of the Dead Sea. Have you heard about Mud Zero? Face it, we may not like to talk about it, but some of us need help with removing unwanted hair, especially in unwanted places. Mud Zero is a solution for all skin types for men and women. Rub the mask on your skin, let it sit for 5 minutes, wipe it off, and you have smooth skin without the irritation. Then follow it up with a Depi lotion daily to reduce hair growth by up to 50%. Best of all, you can feel good knowing that over 10% of the profits goes directly to King's Ransom to feed the orphan and the widow. Go right now to mudzero.com and take advantage of an introductory offer they've created just for us. mudzero.com. For families in Santa Pancha, Nicaragua, life is filled with fear and struggle. They don't have enough food for their kids, clean water is hard to find, and they're living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel on top of mining tunnels that could explode and sink at any moment. But a miracle is in the making, and you can be a part of transforming this village. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha to see how you can help. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org, and click on Santa Pancha.
It's time to take on a whole new mindset. This is The Dani Johnson Show.
So there you have it. Man, today's show just flew right by both you and I. This one really got under my skin. I'm kind of sweating right now, actually, because it's so simple. It is so simple. And when you just say, you know what, I'm not going to spend more than X. And so for us, it's $20 per person per week for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And you have to make the decision to hold yourself accountable like that. And if you need accountability partners, you can find those on our website. You can find them on our Facebook page. We have thousands of people following this plan of feeding your family on less than $100 a week. You can find that plan, by the way, at DaniJohnson.com. If you go to the website right now, click on shop, And there it is. It's a system that you can download immediately and begin to put into practice because you owe it to your family to be financially wise. You owe it to your children so that you're not teaching them to shop according to cravings and emotional needs, but instead to be healthy, to be wise, to be disciplined, to be focused, and to use the money for much more important things than ended up throwing the money in the trash because you didn't eat the food, or the cereal went stale, or the cheese turned brown, not brown, green, or the bread went stale. Wait a second. For some reason, bread doesn't go stale anymore. Have you ever noticed that? When I was a kid, it turned green after a few days. Today, I've done a test. I bought bread, let it sit out. It didn't turn green in a month. There's something wrong with the bread. Anyway, use these strategies that we talked about today. You get a hold of that Feed Your Family on $100 a week now. Don't use the excuses anymore. Like that Tamara from Canada. She's blowing $2,400 extra a year. Or the woman who had the 5 children. She should be spending $100 a week, but instead, spending $250 to $350. That's like a crazy budget for food for 5 people. You could be saving thousands of dollars every single year if you choose to make wise choices. You choose to be strategic at the grocery store, and I'd love to show you how to do that much more in depth. 2 things, War on Debt and Feed Your Family on $100 a week. It's right on the shop page. Get a hold of it immediately. Also, if this is your first time watching the show or listening to the show, First Steps to Wealth, I'd love to give you a copy absolutely free. It's a $15 book. It's almost 300 pages. 2 chapters in here about declaring war on debt and how to do it, strategies. This isn't a bunch of motivational talk. This is like a step-by-step, follow this recipe. You're going to produce the same results that we have. So here you go. Get your copy today. You can dial 866-760-8255. Again, that's 866-760-8255. Absolutely free. You pay the shipping and handling to your house, you can have the book. You can also download a copy of it absolutely free. If you don't want to pay shipping and handling, you can go ahead and download the free ebook at DaniJohnson.com. Listen, I hope that today you enjoyed the program. I hope you learned something new. And if you hadn't learned something new, I hope you revisited your commitment to paying off your debt and spending less at the grocery store. You'll lose weight on accident, my friend. I promise you. I had one client lose 60 pounds just by committing to not eating out and not buying any more food except for eating what was in her pantry. She lost 60 pounds in 6 months by accident. Yes. Thanks so much for joining us today. God bless. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
If this episode was an encouragement to you, go to DaniJohnson.com and share it with your friends now. You never know who else needs to hear it. Join us every weekday at 7 a.m. for more insights that will help you get to the life you've always wanted. Did you know you can see Dani Johnson live and in person? Go to DaniJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First Steps to Success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS.